Wonderful. Hello, everybody. Some of you know I just came back from 2 days at the practice round of the Masters, and even though I couldn't have my cell phone with me, I had my Axis itinerary, AXUS. And for the next hour, Anne is going to walk through some advisor training, associate training, and tips and tools, because Axis used the opportunity to upgrade their product during the pandemic, like many of us, and it's a great tool. I see many faces on the GoToMeeting. We're at 32 right now, and some of you use it, some of you know it, but there are new tips and things that I learned in the last week or so, like viewing your previous trips in the cloud. I know Natasha from the Valerie Wilson Travel Tech Team is on, and she has created advisor and client-facing one-page documents that, as you can guess, are on the VWT intranet under training, and we can reference those as well. But this is one of those tools that is co-branded. It's an app. It's primarily for leisure travel or small meetings, but it is an awesome tool, and VWT has been very proud to partner with Axis over the years. And I'm going to turn it over to Anne, and then Dan and Ginny can certainly stay on and assist, but I'm thrilled you took the time to spend the next 45 minutes to hour on this really great tool, because as demand from our clients comes back, particularly in the leisure marketplace first, this is the tool that we want to make it easy to have them engage with information. So Anne, I turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for letting me join you today. So Axis is an efficiency tool. You're eliminating manual itinerary management to sell more travel. It's a value add for your travelers, providing a cutting edge mobile itinerary experience. It's perpetual marketing, attracting new business by letting customers do the marketing for you. With Axis, you'll manage all itineraries and bookings in a single, easy to use platform, generate sleek branding itineraries, customize your branding, import itineraries from external sources, sync directly with client base, Sabre, Tramada, Travelport. You can attach essential travel documents, collaborate with DMCs or on-sites, push booking updates directly to your traveler's mobile device, and stay connected with clients in their destination using that in-app messaging. So when you first log on to the Axis website, in the last year, we have a new update. You're not just taken to the itineraries page, you're taken to an actual home page. And this is a great resource to use if you're kind of in the starting stage, you kind of haven't maybe created a lot of itineraries. You can definitely come back to this. Anywhere you see the little home with the eye inside the circle, that takes you to support article. So you can definitely take time to kind of look and see what the homepage offers. But just an overview of maybe how many itineraries you publish that are departing this month, how many published itineraries you have, how many were created in the month. If I go over to June, I see a starting date of a trip that's in green, and that trip ends in July, and I can click on it and it'll take me to the actual itinerary. So I won't spend too much time here, but definitely check it out. And maybe at the end, we can kind of look at some more of these features on the home page. So once you've got onto your home page, you're going to go to your main itineraries page. Just click itineraries at the top. And this is kind of where you're going to live. So at the very top, you see advisors. So you can view advisors' itineraries that are in your org. If you have your own, branded, if you're an IC, you have your own branded account, you'd be the only person. But chances are you have a great opportunity to see other people's itineraries, collaborate closely together, that sort of thing. So you can do that. Head over to Travelers in the top menu, and you're going to find your traveler's itinerary by the first letter of their last name. So I go over to the person and I can view their itineraries this way. Vendors in the top menu, we have a backend integration set up with different vendors. So if you're using GoGo Vacations, you plug in your IATA, Go username, password, and your GoGo booking number. They don't do, we can't import group bookings into it, but it's just kind of your basic single booking. And then back on the main itineraries page, you'll see kind of your, the next 6 months of your itineraries. Basically, we have a default set up, default view. So I'm going to only see trips that are up to October. And if I want to, let's say I'm working on a trip in December and I don't know where it is, can't find it, all you have to do is just click this 12 plus month button. And it's just going to take you to trips that are a year out. And then if you want to learn more about filtering, just once again, click that little eye icon to kind of learn more about that. Heading over to your profile. So you go to your name in the top right corner, you'll select profile. Here's where you can add your name, your email address, phone number. If you are kind of by yourself, this is where you'd add your company name, your logo, your accent color. It's possible that maybe you have someone in your office that takes care of this for you, and so you may not have that option, but just to show you, this is where you will find it, especially if you are that IC. All right. As far as client base is concerned, if you have not set your Access account to sync with client base, I would just ask your agency manager to see if it's already been done from the client, from the agency level. If it hasn't been done, it will require someone to, from the agency, to go to the support section and fill out a very brief form. So you would just go over here on the top and click on support, end up in the support library, and then you would find this area called advisors who use a CRM client base, and then you would just click on this link. How do I set up a link between Access Travel app and my client base account? So you would just click on the CB release form. It just was one person from your agency to do this. So chances are maybe someone in your group has already done that. So just kind of connect with them. So if you look at your itineraries here, each little title box is basically a representative of a res card that's synced over from client base. We have a nightly sync, but it needs to sync from client base to trams to Access. So let's look at a specific res card. So I'm searching with the title for that, nothing came up. So it's probably after that October 8. I'm just going to click that 12 plus month button, and there it is. So looking at the res card, we have a title, we have dates, and we have travelers. If you want, you can change the title name. You can certainly do that. You would just click the gear icon in the title box, and you'd open up Edit Itinerary, and you just go down to the itinerary name and change it how you want. If you change it here on the Access side, you're not going to be changing it back. We just have a sync that's one way, so you wouldn't be changing that title on the client base side. And then you would just save below. And then if you want, you could also add an image. That's definitely the one thing you'll want to add. I'm just going to click on the web view of this trip just to show you what we have so far. So here's where we have our logo, our branding color, we have our name, contact info, have the title, a little summary, a flight there, hotel, and a flight back. Just pretty simple. And definitely the one picture that you want to add for sure is your title image. If you don't put a photo in and you've published it, you're going to see your logo show up twice, and it's just going to be kind of confusing. So I definitely would add that cover image. And once again, just click that gear icon. 3 different ways to enter an image. You can upload your image. You can use it from your computer, so a picture that you've saved to your computer somewhere, a Google image, or our image library. Our image library is powered by Pixabay. Anything in that image library you can absolutely use. So I'm just going to search for New York City. And pictures pull up. You definitely want photos that are more horizontal or shoebox size rather than vertical. And then I'm going to hit select and crop, and I want to drag it down so part of that building is not cut off. And then I'm going to save. All right, so where do we check our client-based settings? How do we know everything is working okay? Did something sync over? What's going on? So I'm going to go to my name in the top right corner, click on profile, and I'll go all the way to the bottom to the client-based settings. And this is a certain number that kind of we put in on our side. This says the last sync was April 8th, and then how many cards either updated or came over. And the biggest thing is that obviously the sync is on for the organization and that the sync is on for you. So you don't want that in red for sure. In order to publish an itinerary, you need to have at least one booking and one traveler, and then you can publish. So I'm going to go into our itinerary, and all you have to do that is to literally just click on the title. Clicking on that. Which we have at least one traveler and we have at least one booking. So we are free to publish. As soon as you hit publish, you're basically sending an email invite to the traveler with app credentials. They'll have a web view button where they can click on the web view of this trip, prompting, and then of course those credential and information just prompting them to download their app. So if I click on the web view, they click on that button, they're going to be getting this itinerary. We obviously have more items we want to add. You as the advisor are absolutely welcome to use the app yourself. If you're saying, hey, Anne, I use my Access website login, it's not working on my app. I'm using the same, so like what's going on? So what you'll do is you have to create a traveler profile for yourself. All you would do is on an itinerary, just click add traveler staff. If you do not exist yet, you're going over to create. You're going to add a first name, last name, email. You can click staff traveler and save. You can bypass these two, ignore the CRM. The phone number, you can absolutely add phone numbers if you want, but they have nothing to do with the login for the app. So if it helps you remember some of your clients' phone numbers, that's up to you. But again, first name, last name, email, staff traveler, save. And when I open this one up, this person is actually a staff traveler, and I'll explain the difference. We've changed the difference. It's very simple now. So this person is a staff traveler. This person is not. This person who's a staff traveler has a little person inside the circle to show them that. And then if you click on her box, she's marked a staff traveler. So the system generated a username and passcode. It's case sensitive. You can't just reset the passcode. The user ID and the email are interchangeable. So if you have an email address in there, you can use the mjames8499 or the email address. And then the passcode, again, case sensitive, and you can't reset it. So that is a specific passcode for your app credentials. Every person has their own set of app credentials. So you as the advisor, maybe you're adding yourself to like 10 upcoming trips in the next year. You obviously, not every client is privy to that, right? They're on their own trips, right? So you as the advisor definitely do not want to share your app credentials with someone else. It's yours. So
Anne, can you pause a moment? I know Ginny wants to jump in here.
no, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, hi Anne, thank you so much. I just want to, there's a lot of advisors here that have never used Access,
Yeah.
have never built an itinerary. Many don't use client base.
Sure.
And nobody uses REST cards.
Okay, sure. Yeah, well, we can skip right to, do we want to just focus right on creating a brand new itinerary from scratch? Because we can do that.
Yes, please. I think it would be very beneficial for those who've never used it to try to understand how you use it. So that's,
yeah.
I believe that's the best way to start.
Let's do
because
that.
This is great information for those who have used it before.
No, that's fine. Let's do that. 1 second here. What I'm telling you still does apply though. So we'll kind of continue that after we've started. So let's just start from scratch. So let's go to our main itineraries page. And you'll see between the words import and restore is new. That's where you want to be. So on the main itineraries page, you're going to click on the new button in the middle. And you're basically creating like the skeleton, right? Or the overview of your trip. So you want to give it a name, start date and end date, and you want to save it. So let's call it London Holiday in May. Whatever title you want to give it. Let's add dates. You can either choose the little calendar or you can type it in. I'm just going to choose the calendar. And then I can hit save. Before I'm going to hit save, I'm actually going to search for a cover photo while I'm at it, right? So the third option, I'm going to do search image library. And I'm just going to search for London, England. All right. And then hit select and crop. Drag that down and then hit save. So I've now have the very, the start of my itinerary. The next thing I want to do is I need to use my flight lookup, and then I want to use my hotel lookup to get the air and the hotels in there. So across from May 21, I'm inside. Oh, I kind of jumped ahead just to make sure. I'm going to go back. So I'm going to click on the title of my itinerary, and I'm going to be now inside the booking section. This is where you're going to plan. This is where you're going to live. Okay, I've got pre-travel. That's things you can add, like important phone numbers or emergency contact information, passport info. Post-travel, maybe like a trip survey or about us. And then you have every date of the trip represented from May 21 to May 30. So across from May 21, I'm going to click plus new booking. And then I'm going to click on the air. That's my menu that pops up. I'm going to select air. And then here I want to add one record locator and nothing else. So I can't say like AAA, BBB, Tim. I could put Tim here because that's who it's, let's say that's who it's for. But I can only put one record locator and nothing else. Let's say you have 3 record locators for the same flight. You would go to the note section below. And label those there. Okay, so we're using our flight lookup. The important things again: one record locator, one airline that is correct, so it's going to show like the abbreviation of the airline, and then flight number, obviously that's correct, and then the departure day. This is going to help with flight notifications. So I want AZ 202. And I'm going to hit get flight details. And that's going to pull in my flight, departure city, arrival city, departure time, arrival time. And if it has it at that time of lookup, it's showing me the departure and arrival terminals. And then I need at least one passenger name. And then if I'm not finished, I want to add my return. So while I'm still in this air booking, I'm going to click add segment. It brings that passenger down, and I'm going to add in my next flight. And then again, get flight details, and that's going to pull in the info for my second flight. London back to Rome, departure and arrival time, and departure and arrival terminals. Okay, now I'm going to hit save. So now I have my flights. The next thing I want to add is my hotel. So the same day they arrive, in London. I'm just going to, now that May 21 is taken up, there's not a plus new booking anymore. This now becomes my menu for May 21. I'm just going to hover over these 3 dots and insert above or below. I'm going to insert below. And then I want to do hotel. And here we have a hotel lookup with this magnifying glass. So here I'm going to type in London Marriott hotel, and then just kind of add that specifics. You'll see here that this is coming from my library. So at one point, I actually saved this to my organization library, which we can address later. And the other that I want to show you is this is powered by Sabre. So through that database, this pops up from Sabre. I'm going to select that one. And then I just want to pick a picture, select and crop, maybe bring that down a little bit. Brought over the address, phone number, website, property description, and I just want to choose my checkout day. This is where I can add in room category information, like maybe a king suite, confirmation number, type of bedding, and then if I want to add a second room, I don't need to add the same hotel again. Instead, I can just click this new room button, and it's going to pull over that same room information again. You can add any room description or room notes that you'd like. And they have a template that you can absolutely add, but it's just up to you if it applies to how you booked it. And then when you're done, you can just hit save. So similarly to before, in order to publish a trip, you need at least 1 booking and you need at least 1 traveler. We don't have a traveler yet. And for those that, travelers aren't syncing over from a database, this is good for you to know. I'm going to still click that add traveler staff. If that person exists, I'm going to find them under assign and assign that profile that they already have. If they're brand new, I'm heading over to create. And I'm going to add first name, last name, email, staff traveler, and save if it's you or maybe one of your colleagues or something like that. So for an existing person, I'm just going to look for Margot. They pop up and I can just add them. And then someone else. Okay. So I've added all my travelers. You'll notice here in the order that, and this is kind of a good example. So now the only difference now between staff traveler and a regular profile, the only difference now is that if you are staff traveler, you will not show up here in the itinerary for field. That is why it's good to add you as you, the advisor, as a staff traveler, so your name will not show up in the itinerary for field. Your name also shows up at the front of the travelers, but again, your client should not see that. Another way to bypass this, if you didn't want to, name yourself staff traveler, would just be to click on that gear icon and edit traveler and go down to under the title of the trip, customize itinerary for field. You could just write, Margot and friends, Margot family, whatever. You could write that in that field. If you leave this field alone, it just populates the travelers you just added. So if you're worried, I don't want my travelers to see that I'm on this, just an easy way to just never have to worry about if things are populating or names or whatever you got to do. I would just simply click on your box and click on staff traveler, and that is taken care of. So we need at least 1 traveler and 1 booking to publish. Once you're inside the itinerary, hit publish. And this will trigger an invite for the traveler to download their app using their unique set of app credentials. And this is what it looks like on the web view. So we're kind of starting to create our itinerary. You'll notice here, as far as like the room information, you just got like different rooms on top of each other, so you can kind of see everything in one place. And there we go. Any questions so far? Oh, I see we do. Is Amy, are you able to see my screen now? I just see that you.
And there's a question. There's a question that says, how does it work when I have the active flights in Sabre or GK hotels and tour details under the same record as the air? Is it possible to import all details from Sabre, even, for example, if a hotel is not booked on Sabre but GK?
What I can answer about Sabre, and maybe we just need to dive into this more offline, but if you've already created an itinerary, so you've got everything going, you're not starting one from scratch, you can just find import vendor on the right side here, and then you would select Sabre, and then enter in the PNR here, and you would import it into an already existing itinerary. If you're doing it from scratch and you haven't created one to begin, don't have one to begin with, just go to vendors at the top menu, find Sabre and import, and you're basically going to create a brand new itinerary. So, I mean, yeah, you can have a hotel, you can have flight info, whatever's on that PNR. So you have to have a setup. You have to set up with Sabre. And let's see. So I'm going to paste this link in the chat. So definitely take a look at this. And then if you need more help, just send me an email, support@accesstravelapp.com, and we can kind of look at that closer if that helps.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, can you show an example of you've made a hotel reservation at a property and then you email it to the itinerary and then it populates?
Yeah, so you can, if you're doing it from scratch, if you're doing it like on an already existing itinerary, if it's already existed, you're going to go to emailed confirmations inside right here. And if you've parsed it over, it's going to show up in this box. And then you can just add it to this itinerary. If you click on this, it takes you to Award Wallet. These are the list of approved like airlines and hotels, just other things. You can definitely take a look at. Yes? Oh, I thought somebody had a question. You can definitely take a look at this list of supported of the ones you can actually parse. We call that parsing. Parsing it's limited and it's not always 100%. So I definitely would have other backups, but you can definitely give it a try. If you are forwarding something, like let's say you go on to Delta and you want to send that confirmation, you want to parse it in to your itinerary. I would not put bookings plus A Holman at accesstravelapp.com. I wouldn't put that in your Delta address. You want to send that to that Delta confirmation. Go to Delta, send that confirmation to your work email, right? And then in your work email, you'll forward that to your unique parsing address. I would remove everything that's not the content coming from that confirmation. So whether it's your email signature or anything else, I would just delete that and just make it as simple as possible. If you're doing this with an approved vendor that has that you have like a PDF, I would only send in one PDF at a time. So you can definitely check that out. If you're doing it from scratch, like you haven't created an itinerary to begin with, you go to your main itineraries, go to import, and then this is where that view list for the Award Wallet, and then that vendor confirmation address. The one thing too that's kind of thrown some people off is if you go to your name, your profile, and then you've got your parsing email prefix, make sure you don't have like A Holman at, NTMLC at Access. It just can be very simple in this box. And then as soon as you type something, it kind of shows up how it'll be below. So it's bookings plus A Holman. So all you had to do is just kind of find your own unique prefix, and then it fixes it. So if it was like that, that's how it's going to change it there. And then just save it below. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely use your cover image to add a photo of a couple, like a honeymooners, or just anything that makes it personal. That's great.
Did you see the chat from one of the advisors asking about fees?
Well, fees show up on my itinerary only if you add it. If you're putting fees in, so if you're in a specific hotel and you go down to the very bottom, maybe you are collaborating with someone, or you just created internal notes for yourself, and this is kind of an advanced feature. Nobody should see these internal notes. If you're collaborating, people you're collaborating with can see them, but travelers should not see your internal notes. So if there's anything like commission or something you don't want the traveler to see, you can add that to your internal notes. If you add a price and a payment here, it's going to show up there. That helps.
Is there a way to add fees to the itinerary, a planning fee to the itinerary as a separate line item?
You can use your other / if I click new booking here, you can use your other / notes booking and just say fees for this trip, however you want to say it, right? And you could put something in the note section. You can add a price certainly here. If so I don't know specifically. If you want it like for the whole itinerary itself, you could edit itinerary. And let's say you want to, let's just say this is like $10,000. And I'm going to hit save. I believe this will not show up in the app, but I think it'll show up in the web view and PDF, where you'll see like the price right here.
But there's nothing precluding us. So if we decided to click on other and we wanted to have a $600 planning fee for this trip, it would show up probably on the last day, maybe, or wherever we wanted to put it, but it would definitely be listed as a fee as part of this itinerary.
I mean, if you can create, like, is the purpose to have it so you know how much you charge, but you just don't want it to show up like on the day-to-day? Is that kind of the idea?
The purpose is to advise the client that with this particular itinerary, we're charging a $600 fee. So to have them understand that all of these charges for the hotel, the flights, and all of that are embedded in the itinerary, but that we have a $600 planning fee.
Yeah, I would just then call it, I would literally do plus new booking or wherever you want to put it, right? And then just call it a planning fee for your title. And
yep.
Then, I would, sorry, I wasn't completely understanding, but, and I would just say like total $600. And then if you want to make it pop out, you could, so this is what it looks like.
I'm going to quickly jump back in here for 1 second, Ann. Great question, Cheryl. And for consistency of message throughout Valerie Wilson Travel, we have tried to say VWT planning fee, and that's over $100. If it's more of a transaction fee, or I hate to say a commodity tied to an airline ticket, that is usually a service fee, like $100 or less. And then many of you have heard us talk about the power of access fee, i.e. like 20% of the savings. If you are giving a Coach to Business upgrade and you save $2,000, 20% of that, $400. Or if you have a one category upgrade, so consistency of message, and thanks for changing that, Ann, to VWT planning fee, that type of messaging, it then trains our customer. And it's no differently than if you're using one of our scripts, it will show planning fee, service fee, POA, or power of access fee. So just a friendly reinforcement of messaging here.
So you can add, like, you can make this, I made this like what I did here to kind of make that pop out. I made it a high priority booking, and that gave it a gray background with the bar on the side. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll try to keep it as zoomed as I can. So, let me, let's see. If I go like that. Yeah, I'll try to keep it as zoomed as I can when I can. Yeah, so I just made it a high priority booking. You obviously don't want to make all your bookings high priority, but make something kind of stand out, like, hey, don't you miss this. This is important because you guys need to, yeah, that needs to be clear to them. So yeah, you could have a title, however you want to format that. Did that kind of help, or like, do we need to go more into this, or?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Okay. For the Amy, about your itineraries, when you send me just email support@accesstravelapp.com, you can put attention Ann, and let me just take a look. Send me any info you can, maybe the client's names or a web view, click on the web view and send that to me. Click on the, if you guys are ever having any issues, it's helpful if you send me either a screenshot, or if in the browser you grab that link that has like the 7 digits inside, or just the web view, just something that I can work with to find that. So if I don't get to any of your questions today, please email support@accesstravelapp.com. All right, let's continue, but I will definitely come back to this because we want to make sure you guys have a good understanding. So we've published it again, to publish. And I say this because it is a question people have, a traveler and at least a booking, and you can hit publish inside that itinerary. Now let's add some other things to this itinerary. So yes, perfect example of what you can add to pre-travel would be a planning fee, any type of like terms and conditions that your company has, whatever is just important that they see maybe before they get on the plane, whatever, weather, anything you deem vital. So again, if I want to insert, now I have that 3-dot menu. So I'm going to insert new above. And then I'm going to use other /notes you'll find that you can use for a lot of things. So I love, it's a great booking type. So I'm going to start to type in passport validity reminder, and this shows up, it's pulling in from my library. So at one point I titled it, I added a photo and made it a high priority booking. And then I gave it, I added notes below, formatted it however I want. And then I just at one point just copied the library and save. Make sure, first of all, number one, that you guys are labeling things. If you're sharing a library, you're not only sharing templates or proposals, but you're also sharing all those little booking types, whether it be a hotel or a passport reminder or something about the weather. So or like, welcome to your trip or something like that. So just make sure and be mindful that you guys are all titling things that everybody kind of knows about. Maybe if there's someone in your library that's kind of like keeping track and making sure there's not 5 passport reminders in there and just not getting too cluttered. You're not hurting anything. It's just going to be a little more frustrating because you really want to just make sure you have the most accurate info. If you ever want to make, a permanent change to your booking type, you're going to go to your library and make the change there, and we'll get there. Okay, so I just pulled in this info, and all I'm going to do is hit save. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a tour activity. So I'm going to click plus new booking, and then I'm going to choose tour activity. Perhaps you received a great confirmation from the tour operator, and you just want to kind of copy and paste it in your itinerary. You can certainly do that. So you just want to give it a title, Add a photo, Buckingham Palace. Format that, or drag and drop if you need. You want to give a meeting point, like the hotel lobby. Contact person, start time and end time. And again, as little or as much information as you want. And then you can add to the description below. And then perhaps you want a little timeline in the notes section of, oops, didn't like that. Okay. You guys want to put, okay. Just, and as much as information as you'd like to add. And then again, if this is a popular tour, you can at one point just copy to library and save. And so we've added that. Another thing you can add is a restaurant reservation. And you're just going to click on concierge for a restaurant reservation. And you're going to use a Google location search. And you'll type in the restaurant and the city. And this is powered by Google. So it's going to bring in a picture. And you can just, again, add information. And then hit save. And so now let's take a look at our web view. We can either take a look up here in the title box or the web view below. So here is our upcoming trip. You can also look at a PDF with images, without images, or compact, and you can choose your font size and then just hit the export button for your PDF. So here we'll see our PDF, just a nice printable version that you can have as well. Before we show you what it looks like in the app, so we're in the booking section here. You can head over in the bottom menu to documents. And in the document section, you can upload a PDF, JPEG, PNG, GIF files, anything smaller than 10 megabytes. It's got to be saved from somewhere on your computer. It could be a hotel confirmation, air, a walking map, anything that's helpful. So you're just going to upload and look for it. And add that. And go over to guides, search for that. The content from the guides will be able to be seen on the app itself. You can pull from different destinations, city guides, that sort of thing, anything that will be helpful for your traveler, like the London, Bath, Oxford. Again, the content will be able to be seen on the app, but this shows me that it is attached. Head over in the bottom menu to the messages section. Think of this more like a message wall and not a direct inbox. For you as the advisor, you can absolutely message people on like the Access website platform right here. Or you can go on the app and message them there. And this is time-stamped with my name. So once again, that web view, This is, again, along with their credentials and invite to download the app, they'll be also given that button to get the web view. And when they open up the web view, they can print out their own PDF. They can go to this little documents icon and open the attached document. They can also open this document on the app. And now our newer feature is this little email button. If you click on it, it opens up a brand new email, and you can, it actually copies this web view link. It's got the word shared in it, so a login is not needed. So you can automatically basically share a web view link with your traveler. It just saves you an extra step. All right, so let's show you what it looks like on the app itself, and then we will take a look at any questions and any extra features we want to talk about today.
And there's a copy about, can we copy and paste itineraries info from a tour operator confirmation rather than fill in all the details?
You can copy and paste. Yeah, I would copy and paste from like a Word or a PDF that will let you paste, you know, but yeah, you can definitely copy and paste. And I would just really utilize that library just as much as you can. Save items to your library, especially the ones things you keep repeating all the time. That would be good. Okay, so we have an update on our phone now where view past trips used to be down below. Now it is between your logo and your upcoming trip. You've got your company name, your logo, your upcoming trip here. We're just going to click on that. And then it shows you just your different itinerary, your booking components. You can click on addresses, a tour, dinner reservations, flight. Head over to the document section and open up one of your documents. Go to guides, take a look at the different the content they have for New York. And then messages where you can contact that person. And that's where also the flight notifications show up. This little icon is the advisor contact, and it'll show like your picture, information about you, maybe your website, so they can look at that inside that specific itinerary. All right, any questions? Let me go back to support is support@accesstravelapp.com. Another new feature that we have is if you click on a person's traveler box, either here or go to travelers and find that specific person there. If I click on their traveler box, I can view all their itineraries, view all itineraries link. I can click on that, and it shows me all the itineraries that are attached to this person. And you have this whole link here, so you can copy and paste that in an email to your traveler. It's safe, no one can guess that. So it's definitely a handy thing to have, not just the app, but just to have that all itineraries link. This also is related to the home page, but we have a task manager where you can just click on this and create tasks for some of your specific itineraries, and then all your tasks would show up. This is a very abridged, but all your tasks will show up.
I'm just seeing the app. Are you still on the?
I'm so sorry. Okay, my goodness, I need to switch back. Thank you for saying that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to show that where I found that WebView link. Sorry, guys. Okay, so either with the WebView link, I can just find a specific traveler that's listed on one of my upcoming trips, right? Or I can just go to travelers in the top menu. And then I can find, that first letter of their last name. And either I can find view all itineraries link here, or I can just kind of click their edit traveler box and view all itineraries link here. So when I click on that, it just shows me this whole trip history of this person's links it takes me to all the web view links of this person's trip history associated with their profile. So just kind of a handy thing to have. And then I was saying something about the task manager, or about you can create little reminders within each of your itineraries. Maybe you still have to take care of flights for a trip or a transfer, and you can set little reminder dates, and then those reminders will show up on your homepage right here. Also below, we have these alerts powered by IntelliGuide. You can just simply click on this is on the homepage. You can simply click on this article link, and then it takes you to IntelliGuide, and then go down to the very bottom, and then you can click on a tag to see more about that specific alert. So check that out. Library in your top menu, you have your own organization's library where you have templates that live here. And so if I want to find one on Hawaii, so again, if you're in an organization with other people, you share that same library, which actually can be a great benefit to you. So just to look at a web view, I'm just going to click on the little computer, and it takes me to a web view of my proposal that's inside my library. And so instead of day 1, day 2, instead of June 1, 2, 3, it's day 1, day 2, day 3. So not specific dates. And then it should strip out any passenger info. Let's see. And then you've got your little booking components. Head over from your organization's library to Access Featured Samples, one below that. And now you're in the public library. You can take a look at some samples we have, other /notes. So weather or embassy website, currency converter, social media. So these are just basically little starters for you. You're welcome to look at those and use those. And then I have a past training that was all about that, that I can link in the chat. So definitely check that out. If I go back one step to itinerary templates, this is where you can browse and import real itinerary samples from a select group of our partner tour operators and DMCs from all over the world. Oh, and the one thing I definitely should mention is not only do we have our vendors, but we do have our, you can collaborate with your colleagues or coworkers, but you can also collaborate with another tour operator. So let's say I'm inside my itinerary and I'm working on this London trip. I could invite colleague, DMC, or tour operator here in my title box, and then it's going to open this up. I can click on here to view a list of our current, the companies you can collaborate inside of Access. There's several of them. However, you can also reach out to someone brand new, add their name, their email, and invite them, and they can work on your specific itinerary for free. And maybe just say, hey, I'm working with Access. Could you just put these 2 tours in for me? And then maybe they like what they see and they want to maybe put all their tours in that way. And so you guys can collaborate together. If it's a specific company, I can just search for one that already exists, maybe a person I've been talking to, and invite them to work on my itinerary.
So, Anne, thank you so much. This was a lot of information.
Yeah.
I know that Natasha is right. Natasha, she's on the call also. So she and I will touch base this week per Jennifer, and we're going to create, we have some really good PDFs, and we're going to send them out to everybody. And Natasha, you and I can touch base with how to offer more support, because I know there's a lot of information. Okay.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
Anyway,
you go, Natasha.
yeah.
Sounds great.
Anyway, and thank you so much. I know we've reached our time, and there's a couple of other webinars going on. So thank you for all your help and your support. And everybody now has met you, and they can come to you directly. But Natasha and I will be supporting the rest of the VW team.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you guys so much, and I will make sure you get this recording. Thanks again.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye, guys.